Around 1 year ago, Robuidler tried to remake his game Ego Simulator, but after that video, the game was abandoned. So I contacted Robuidler and he was down to give the game another shot. So in the previous game, the player were floating heads, but we decided to change the concept to something more exciting, and eventually I got the idea of the players being auras, which we decided to go with. So now with an idea, we could get started, and thankfully we already had a map from the old game. So first off, I began with the basic character movement, and Robuidler found a very nice aura we could use as the character. So after implementing the character and jumping VFX into the system, we already had some nice-looking movement. And now that we had the movement in place, we could get onto the lobby screen. And Robuidler made us some beautiful UI so we could get to scripting. So I just finished the play button, and now when you click on it, you spawn in. But before scripting any of the other buttons, we need to get the basics done. So first off, I began with the orb spawning, and a little scripting later, it works perfectly. Next up, we have the orb collecting system, and after a little scripting, it looks nice. And after adding some UI outside the lobby screen, it was time for power-ups. So I'm going to add 2 power-ups, a speed boost and a shield. So the first power-up I'm going to add is the speed boost. So Robuidler made these very cool models we could use, but they do not look bright enough. So I added these cool effects, and now they look way better. But anyways, I started scripting, so it would spawn 5 power-ups as soon as the server started. And then every time you take one, it would spawn 1 more. And then I also added a nice spinning effect just for that extra dopamine. But now let's get to the juicy stuff. Anyways, so when you collect it, I made it change your speed for 10 seconds along with an icon and some nice effects to go along. Now that the speed boost was done, it was time for the shield. But we can't make a shield without making its purpose first, so it's finally time for the killing. And by the way, before we get scripting, I would like to thank Robo for making most of the UI in the game, so do me a favor and thank him in the comments. And while you are down there, you might as well hit the subscribe button. Now let's get scripting. So I started out by scripting so it would check for the player with the most sides. And that player, it will give 3 shards and a kill. And then I started scripting the UI that would show up on the dead player's screen. And after a few hard hours, the dead player can now choose to return to the menu or respawn. And there is also a button to revive and get revenge, which we will get to in a bit. But anyways, now that the killing is done, we can finally begin on the shield. So I started scripting the main mechanic, which is being invincible for 10 seconds, and then I changed the effect to a purple color to match the shield. And now you can't die when you have the shield power-up, and with that, the power-ups are now done. So now with the basics out of the way, we could begin on scripting all of these buttons. But first, I want to add a little life to them, so I added a hovering effect, and now it looks very nice. So first off, I started on scripting the Autofarm button, and after a bit of scripting magic, and by magic I mean pure suffering. Now when you click on it, you can sit for hours without moving a finger and giving me some sweet playtime. Anyways, the next button I'm going to script is the trails. So as you can see here, we already have a frame for every button. And I started out by scripting the different trails in the shop. And the way I did this was changing the values of a template I have. And scripting it like this, I was able to ask ChatGPT to make some for me, so I don't have to do the work. And now, we have all the trails we will need. Now, all there was to do was script the actual trail equipping, so wish me luck. So I just finished the trail equipping, and as you can see, it works perfectly. Anyways, now with the trails done, we could move on to the settings. So I decided only to add 2 settings, one for sound effects and one for the music. So the sound effects was very easy to implement, but for the music, we still had to find the perfect track. So I began searching in the toolbox, and eventually I found this banger. Now that the settings was done, it was time for the leaderboard. So I decided to only choose one stat for the leaderboard, and I ended up choosing the kills as it would make the most sense. and after some more suffering, I got it working perfectly. Next up, we have the spin wheel, and after deciding all the different rewards, we could get to the scripting, and after even some more suffering, we finally finished the spin wheel. And now you can buy spins for shards or wait 2 minutes for a free one. And now, with all of these buttons done, the only one left is the gifts. So I first decided all the rewards, and then I made it give you the rewards depending on how much time you were in the game. And with that, all the buttons are finally done. So now we can move on to the final step, which is the developer products, which hopefully will earn me some bread. So the first developer product I decided to add was the reviving, and I made it cost 39 Robux. The next product I added was, of course, the revenge, and I made it cost 99 Robux. And now, when you are raging after getting killed by a toxic player, you can just buy this product and make me rich. Next up, I added these 2 buttons, and I made it so when you click on them, a frame will pop up and give you a brief description of what they do, since I thought I needed to clarify them a bit more. Anyways, the first button doubles your current size for 99 Robux, and the other one doubles your speed for 10 minutes for the same price. Anyways, with all that out of the way, it's time for the final developer product, which is spawning a black hole. So Robuidler found this very cool black hole VFX that we decided to use. And after a lot of scripting, when you buy the black hole, it now spawns in the middle of the map and keeps growing until it kills all the players before shrinking again. And with this done, all the developer products are now complete. So now that we had added all the steps, the only thing left to do was polish up the last few things and publish the game. And after testing the game with some testers, I started fixing a lot of bugs. Once those were finally sorted out, we added a few suggestions from the testers, like a top 3 frame showing the best players in the server, a loading screen, and chat messages for events like getting a kill. Now that the game was done, we added an icon that was totally not made by AI and wrote a little description. All that was left was to make the game public. Anyways, I guess we just remade Ego Simulator. You can go play the game using the link in the description, even though it might still be packed with a ton of bugs. But hey, enjoy, and I'll see you next time.